If you're a YouTuber that's been watching a lot of videos about how to grow your YouTube channel, this video is gonna be pretty important for you. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of really bad information being tossed around, and the victim of that bad information, it's not the creator you're getting it from, it's you. So I'm going to share with you some advice that I've ran across lately that is absolutely horrible, and I'm going to tell you the right thing to do. And we're starting right now. So the very first thing on this list is YouTube tags. So when it comes to YouTube tags, there's a lot of information out there saying that you need to use a bunch of tags or that you need to spend all day researching the tags that you're gonna use in your videos. But in reality, according to YouTube, tags are the least important thing about your YouTube video. What actually matters when it comes to YouTube is how good you are at creating a great experience for your viewers from the moment they see your video somewhere on YouTube, to getting them to click on it, to getting them into the actual video content itself, giving them a good experience there, and then of course getting them to click on more of your YouTube videos, and of course later down the road come back to your YouTube channel and so on. That's what actually matters. In fact, there are no amount of tags that you can use or no special tags that you can use or anything like that that is going to make your videos themselves perform better. What matters to YouTube and what should matter to you is how the people that are watching your videos actually enjoy them. So focus on that instead of tags. The next piece of bad advice that's floating all over the place is that you have to rank your videos in YouTube search in order to get views on them. This is absolutely not in any way, shape, or form true. However, search is a great place to get views, but it's also dependent on the type of video that you make. And search just isn't the best choice for a lot of types of content. Search is a very stable traffic source over time, so depending on the type of content that you make, search-based videos might be something that you might want to think about, and you can, without question, grow your entire YouTube channel with a majority of search traffic. However, most of the views on YouTube actually come from YouTube recommending your content to their viewers. So what you always want to think about when you are uploading a video to YouTube, even if you are trying to get that video to show up in search, is you want to make sure that you're thinking to yourself, if the person that I'm trying to reach with this video were to see this on their homepage or in their mobile feed, what about this thumbnail and title would be something that would help them identify that it's something they might care about, and then what would compel them to click on it. If you start doing that with every single video that you upload and you start defining why somebody should click on what it is that you've put together, then you're going to do way better on YouTube. This next one I'm gonna share with you is so old that back when I started my YouTube channel in 2014, people were talking about this as well, and it wasn't even accurate information at that point in time. This piece of advice is where people are telling you to name your video file and or your thumbnail with the keyword that you're trying to bring attention to your video for. That is absolute nonsense, so you don't even have to worry about that sort of thing. When you upload a file to YouTube, they go ahead and encode it with all of their, file naming structures that they need to keep everything organized on the platform. So the way that you name your files has no bearing whatsoever on your video performance. The next piece of advice that you shouldn't take seriously is that you need to make a ton of videos in order to get results on YouTube. Now, there's a couple different parts to this one. Now, the very first part is that on YouTube, if people respond to your very first video in a very positive way, that very first video can do awesome. However, it does typically take content creators a little bit of time to start seeing some real traction on their videos. Here's why. When you first start publishing your videos to YouTube, the system doesn't have any real data on who is a great fit for your content or not. More importantly, if you're just getting started, it is extremely likely that you're probably not making the best videos yet. I mean, you might be, and they might be awesome, but in most cases, when people start YouTube channels, they're just coming into all this stuff, learning how to do it all on the fly as they progress through time on their YouTube channels. So just like when you first start anything, there's a really good chance that when you start your YouTube channel that you have to go through a pretty big learning curve in order to learn how to make content that other people are really going to enjoy. And because of that, that's where that advice typically comes from, and that's why people typically say to make a bunch of videos and just focus on making the videos. But the disclaimer that I want to add to that, and why I think that's bad advice to just blindly say, just make a bunch of videos, and by the time you get to a certain number of videos, you're going to be much better. If you blindly upload 50 videos, 75 videos, 100 videos, 200 videos, and you're not paying attention to how people are responding in terms of clicking on your videos, you're not not paying attention to your audience retention reports. You're not paying attention to just overall how people are responding to your content, not just the views you're getting, but how people are experiencing your content, which you can see inside of your YouTube analytics, by the way. They give us all of that information so we can have a better understanding of how people are enjoying our content. But if you're just publishing content, you're not going through the process of looking in your analytics and trying to figure out what you can do better, then in that case, you're not gonna progress very much because you're just doing the thing, but you're not really trying to improve. So what you wanna do is every time you publish a video, you wanna go into your YouTube analytics or your statistics for your videos, and you wanna make sure that you're trying to get an understanding of how people are responding. So with every single video that you publish, you can try to do something to make them better. And if you do that over time, you're gonna quickly see the things that people aren't really responding to well and the things that people do. And in a really short amount of time, you're gonna be able to make videos that people will really respond to in a very positive way. And when that happens, you'll more easily get watch time, you'll more easily get subscribers and views on your videos. The next piece of really bad advice is that you should just make an awesome video and then go ahead and make your title and thumbnail to represent that video in the best way that you possibly can. This advice is really close to nailing it with the exception of one major detail. On YouTube, as long as your content type supports it, which most do because of the planning process, make sure you're thinking about your title and your thumbnail first before you even consider making the video. Here's why. If you make the video first, you're gonna be limiting yourself on how you can represent that video from the outside or how you can package it up with your thumbnail and title. But if you work on your thumbnail and title first, then you can say, okay, here's my video idea. How am I going to grab somebody's attention with the thumbnail? And when you think that way, this is gonna help you make sure that you get the shots that you need or that you have all of the information that you need for the thumbnail while you're actually shooting the video in the first place. And then when you think about the title first and you think to yourself, okay, what's my title going to be and how can I best represent this topic through the title? That's gonna put you in a great position when it comes to making the video, because when your video first starts, you can reinforce how you were framing it in your thumbnail and title. This is going to help make your job easier when it comes to making the content itself, and it's also going to help you make a better piece of content for the people that you're making it for. And the reason for that is because your thumbnail and your title build an expectation for what somebody might get when they click on that video. So if you think about that first, then you can actually reference that or reinforce that when they come into the video to ensure to them that they're gonna get exactly what it is that they clicked on the video for in the first place, which will help people watch your videos for a longer period of time. Now look, if you're just getting started on YouTube and you wanna learn how to grow your channel faster, click into this playlist right here. It's gonna teach you a ton. Go ahead and click into that now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.